Hello there everybody, this is Alex from Hardcoring Guys, being my guide for God of War 3 on Chaos difficulty. Today we're doing part 3 entitled Judges of the Underworld. Starting off with this part, we're going to be doing the 3 trials for the judges, and the first 2 of the 3 trials are relatively easy and somewhat simple to do. They technically get harder, technically speaking, but the third one is the one that you kind of want to watch out for. That's the one where things get a little bit more strenuous. So the first trial, being, again, the easiest of the trials, is pretty much just, either killing the civilians while they're in civilian human form, or killing them while they're in their zombified form. And the hands of Hades are going to grab them, as you can see, and they're going to take them and turn them into, like, the zombified souls of the damned. I don't know why I keep calling them zombies, because that's not really technically, I guess, what they are, but, I mean, they're... Well, we're in Hades, so are they really undead? I mean, technically not, I guess. But the whole point of this is to pretty much just destroy the hands. That's pretty much how we're going to finish it off. And then, of course, take out, all the civilians / the damned souls themselves. And, yeah, using bow of Apollo to kind of get some of that distance between you and the hands. And just, well, not only get distance, but... just take them out from a distance so you don't have to actually accidentally get hit by them is one thing. You can also grab them and get an insta-kill. Easy enough. The other thing, too, is the square-square-triangle combo. That's a pretty good combo to use against them. It's got decent range, and it's a slam attack, so therefore you can pretty much almost get like an insta-kill on the hands at least, and probably somebody else. Probably somebody else with it, too, so... Alright, so now for phase number 2. Whenever the damned souls walk into the gate itself, they'll turn into undead soldiers, and this can actually come in handy because while we're fighting minotaurs, you can use them to your advantage to, well, grab them, press square, and charge attack into the minotaurs, and potentially throw them off. I don't know what I was doing there, why I kept just letting people, gang up on me like that. It's just a bad habit of mine. I kind of forgot that I could just parry in this game, and I also forgot that the parry itself wasn't exactly the God of War 2 parry. I was wrong on that end. I kind of forgot that God of War 3 had a different parry that actually is really good. So, I'm glad that it was. But yeah, this whole thing, again, not anything too difficult, especially the fact that with Minotaurs, all you gotta do is just grab an enemy soldier, and then just, do the sprint attack with them, and then just charge into the guys, and there you go. And then, of course, if you get your timing down for parries, then Minotaurs are pretty much just nothing. I don't think I have the parry unlocked just yet, which probably would explain why people were ganging up on me. I did nothing about it. So I guess I didn't have the parry unlocked yet. I kind of forgot when I got it. I do get it soon, but I don't remember how soon. Sorry. But yeah. Pretty much just, wipe out the rest of them. It's not a big deal if the damned souls walk into the gate or not. If they turn into a soldier, I mean, so what? You can just grab them and, sprint into the others, or just do what you normally do to kill them. So this is the part that I would say it's definitely the hardest. And starting off, I would recommend using magic attack first thing when you get there. Unless you're more confident than I was, then I would say use your magic to basically wipe out the harpies that are surrounding the Gorgon. And then after that, just try to get that reflect, that parry from the Gorgon. Because, we technically have the fleece. We just don't have, the actual blade attack parry yet. But we do have, or at least should have, the ability to parry back the stoning, or the Gorgon gaze. So you can parry those back. And use that to your advantage, especially on the harpies that they spawn in. So either, start off with magic like I did, or just... parry a Gorgon flash, and then, wipe out the harpies that spawn in, so that way, because they're already flying in the air, they're going to fall down, they're going to break. That's how that works. There's likely not that many harpy waves, which, thankfully, there's not, and there's, 2 Minotaurs-ish, so, same thing with, trial number 2, there's, 2 Minotaurs. It's not that big of a deal. Honestly, Minotaurs are a lot of fun to fight. Minotaurs have always been kind of probably my potentially favorite enemies to fight, alongside, Cyclops and stuff. I don't know why, but I always had, a thing for, Juggernaut enemies and what have you. I don't know what it is. I've always had a thing for, bigger, giant enemies that just feel kind of fun to fight. I wonder if maybe God of War made me that way. I don't know. It's possible. You know, I've played God of War for a long time, so maybe that's probably what made me start to like the idea of somebody smaller taking on something bigger and fighting back against gods and stuff. And then, of course, you know, I grew up to eventually start playing, you know, the Shin Megami Tensei games, and it's like those parallels kind of come into play too, where, or, you know, SMT slash Persona, which, yeah, I know, Persona spinoff of SMT, I get it. I'm just saying, like, things that people would probably recognize more would, you know, of course, be Persona, unfortunately, but that's just the nature of it. Well, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you want it, because sometimes having a game be gate-kept is not always the worst thing to have happen, I guess. Depends on the game. But anyway, so what I'm doing here is I'm just kind of waiting for the Minotaurs to get close to the bramble and just blowing it up, just to get a little bit extra damage, and then just keeping them away with bow of Apollo, because it can, as you can see, we did a ton of damage to just even a singular Minotaur, so we can finally get him into circle prompt and just completely obliterate him before he even gets a chance to try to even attack us. So, bow of Apollo is, like, stupidly good in this game. Like, just insanely good in this game. And I appreciate that, too, to be honest. I think that the God of War 3 devs did an amazing job at least making most of the items, if not most of your attacks, just genuinely fun to use and just really, really good to use, too. It does kind of suck, though, that this game is a bit shorter than I would like it to be. Although, I mean, to be fair, you know, I don't really need the game to be like God of War 2 length, but maybe somewhat close to it. I mean, I guess if anything, this game's probably about like a mix between the two, like, right? I would say, in terms of game length, like the mix between 1 and 2, possibly. I'm not certain, really, but this game I remember it being kind of short-ish. I could have gotten this, but I gave up, and I was like, I could have used the Plume of Prometheus, which the Plume is the square square triangle move, at least it should be. So I probably could have used that to destroy that vase, but I just said screw it. I'm wasting your guys' time. I don't want to do that anymore. Technically, I probably could have cut that whole thing out, but, you know, we got orbs out of it, so might as well show that off, I guess. There was something I was talking about, and I think I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, yeah, how, like, you know, with Persona and SMT, you know, you're kind of like smaller human characters taking on big giant gods and stuff, and there's a lot of cool parallels with that. I guess the David and Goliath type stories have always kind of just been more so something that I've always been interested in. I guess so. I don't know why or how, but again, I could probably just blame God of War for that. I mean, I think the first time I ever really understood that gods were assholes would have been God of War. So, yeah, you know, that would be the first time I think I would have discovered that. So in here, you know, I just shoot the first main bramble over there. I don't really worry about using this one over here just because I don't want to have to carry it all the way over there just to blow them up with it. So, or even try to get them to chase after me. But instead, with these guys, I just use the circle move, slam them on the ground, and then use circle move while they're in the air to do like an air grab. Well, ground to air grab, to be honest. And then, you know, use that a lot, which is a really, really good move. Especially, and we're not there yet, but pro tip for Ghost of Sparta, same thing, you know. Which, by the way, Ghost of Sparta is going to be a pain in the ass to do. Because there's, like, very specific enemies that go underground and they attack you, and they have like a unblockable grab, which you can jump over, but they have a really stupid unblockable grab and just a lot of other dumb, you know, BS moves, I guess you could say, that I don't like. Sorry, I was checking if my recording was actually recording. I was checking if my commentary was actually going. I don't know why, but I'm feeling kind of out of it right now with this guide. I apologize, you know, to anybody watching, of course. But, yeah, I don't know what's wrong with me. Just, something's not there. Like, I'm just kind of going through the ropes at this point. Probably because, like, it took me a bit to kind of do this particular video. It took me a little too long to finally get to this episode. I already had episode 3 like recorded. I just hadn't done commentary. I have episode 4 recorded as well for those that are curious. And we did the Hades fight. So that's where that goes in. That was a bit of a pain for a few minutes, but I got past it somehow. And then I recently, last night, which was technically last year, actually, come to think of it, because today is actually New Year's. This is actually January 1st of 2024, so my first real true recording of 2024 is God of War 3, and it's a hardcoring guide video, so that always works. Yeah, back to these guys real quick, just throw them like this and just slam them. Don't worry about slamming them near the bramble, because I don't think they could destroy it if they're being slammed. I don't think so. It didn't look like they probably could, but, be careful if you want, but I don't think they can destroy it if you throw them on the ground. But if they do that suicide crawl thing, not only suicide crawl thing, but if they do that explosive crawl thing, then I think they can most likely blow in the bramble. So something to be kind of careful of. And their fireballs, they can throw them at you and blow up bramble too. And then on top of that, I believe you can parry those. Well, send them back. So keep that in mind too. I'm pretty sure you can send them back if you block it at the right time. But yeah, yesterday I finished on my other channel, Turd Monkey 1497, my technical main channel. I actually finished a Ghost of Sparta Let's Play, so you can check that out in the description. You'll find my channel name in there in the description, and head over there and you can find Ghost of Sparta. It was like, about I don't know when I finished it, but a few days ago. And then last night, last night I didn't finish Ghost of Sparta. I finished that like days ago. But I finished my Ape Escape 2 Let's Play. So for those that are also curious about that, that is also on my channel. That is done. I caught all the monkeys. I didn't, 100% the game, because there's, collectibles you have to 100% that you have to, pay in-game money to get. And I was like, screw that. That's just going to take too long. It's a gotcha thing, so I'm not going to bother with it. And, I got all 300 monkeys, beat the final boss, the real final boss, and, well, here we are. I also recommend checking out my Ghost of Sparta Let's Play. I think it was actually pretty good. I think I did a pretty good job on it. And it seemed like a good amount of people actually liked it, too. So that's a good sign, That's good for me. A good amount of people watched it. A good amount of people liked it. And the same thing with God of War 3 right now. A good amount of people seem to like it. And you guys seem to definitely be coming around and not just enjoying it, but, actually watching it, too, which is always nice to see, I'm always eager to get, new people into my content and seeing my stuff, whether it be to help or even possibly entertain. So that's kind of my thing. And typically, because I'm relatively smart when it comes to the YouTube situations. I say smart. I'm not going to say I'm the smartest, I'm the greatest. Don't take it as an ego thing. I'm just saying I kind of understand the YouTube stuff just a little bit, I've been around for a good while, and, what was I going to say? Fuck, I lost my train of thought. It was something to do with, my guides. Oh, yeah, the reason why I make an intro for every video is because I'm the type of guy that if I need help on a game, I'm going to go look up specifically that part of the game and then get help with that part. And that's why whenever I do my intros, every single time, or why I organize these videos to be the way they are, why they're chapter-based or particularly part-based, is so that way when somebody is looking up a specific part that they need help with, I can just have my intro there, and it almost feels like, they're technically watching me for the first time, and we're getting introduced, every single time for the first time. And I think that's kind of cool. Sorry, I guess that probably was a little bit of an ego trip, but other than that, back to the action here. So we have the statue guys. You can block every single one of their attacks. You can parry every single one of their attacks. This is a good enemy to learn how to parry against. If you're struggling with timing, this is a good enemy to use. And also, if you struggle with parry timing, and you're struggling with when to block and all that, one of the best ways to figure out the best time to block, or to parry, I should say, is Also, I just wasted all my magic there, so you can do that if you want. You don't have to. That's up to you. There's plenty of magic chests you'll get. Don't worry about it. Magic is relatively plentiful in God Over 3. You'll be alright. If you want to use it, go ahead. So, the key trick to learning better block timing, or parry timing, I should say, is holding down block on an enemy that doesn't have unblockable attacks. Because every time that you're holding down block, and every time the enemy attacks you, you get pushed back. And when you get pushed back, that's a good sign that right then and there could have been a parry. So like right there, for example, that was a parry. And this is something that God of War, I think, has done for quite a while. If I remember correctly. Pretty sure. I'm trying to remember now. Yes and no. I think, I don't know. I have to go back and play God of War 1 and 2 again, don't I? But I'm pretty sure that, you know, the holding down the block, getting pushed back, that's, I know for a fact that that's basically parry time. That's the time that you could have just blocked, perfect blocked, you know, without holding down block, but just block at that moment, get that, you know, retaliation, whatever it was called, and then eventually do a parry right after. The actual true parry being, you know, an attack that comes after the initial perfect block, so. If we're being more specific. Also, there's nothing down below. There's nothing below, like, the exact floor. I died. I checked. I died. That's why you see the skip there. So, for those that are curious, yeah, don't worry. There's nothing down there. Also, every time I get to this area, I always struggle to remember where to go. So, we're going to go ahead and just do a few cuts. But first things first, you know, go up to Hephaestus and talk to him for a bit. After you talk to him, you don't have to do this right now, but you'll get a Gorgonite out of it. So I think it's personally kind of worth it. You're gonna come over here to the left, get yourself a Gorgonite, break some vases, and don't mind the door. I don't know why. I was thinking that I can go there now. That's not the case. I was being dumb. It happens. It happens to the best of us. Then I cut again because I go all the way back to the gate, wondering what the hell I'm supposed to go. Little did I realize that we were supposed to pull the lever on the right side. So make sure that before you leave, or before you, you know, potentially get lost like an idiot like I did. Not that you'd be an idiot. I'm the idiot. I'm just saying, don't do what I did. You know, learn from my mistakes. Go to the right, hit the lever, and there you go. Then you can get out. So, now we're actually in the forge. I would have potentially named this video the forge, but I didn't. Because it'd just be easier just to call it the judges, because, I don't know. We're not really, well, we're in the forge, I think the entire time. We're also in judges for a good bit of time, too. Who cares? Yeah, oh well, it's too late. So I'm fast forwarding this entire section because this entire part takes forever to do. And my pro tip with fighting the dogs is grab. Grab every single one of them. Every single one of these motherfuckers. Just grab them. Every time that there's a dog near you, grab it. Whether or not you kick it or not, doesn't matter. If you snap its, you know, neck, it doesn't matter. Just keep grabbing. Just keep grabbing these little bastards because there's a lot of them. You could use magic if you wanted to. If you'd rather play that way, that's fine, of course. Because there should be a magic chest right outside that you can go get. So if you want to use magic and you feel safer with that, that works too. However, for me though, I would rather just save the magic and just use grabs. It's kind of cheeky, but this is chaos mode, and the game's going to kick our ass anyway. So I might as well do what I can to not get my ass kicked. And yeah, again, magic works, but, you know, I'd rather just go for grabs and get extra orbs too, because of brutal kills. So the cool part about the dogs is that when you grab them, you can actually kick them toward other enemies and stuff. And that does a decent bit of damage, which is something that you'll find out pretty damn quick in this game. Also, highly, highly, highly recommend you do not use Rage of Sparta here. I would recommend you save it. If I remember correctly, you can get away with not using Rage of Sparta here. But if you have to use Rage of Sparta here, that's fine too, because I'm going to show you how to beat the Cerberus dogs, well, in my own perfect way. And I'm excited for that too. I am actually genuinely proud of that moment. I don't remember if it's, no, it's in the next video. In part 4, we fight the 2 mini-boss Cerberus dogs. The 2 big giant guard dogs. And I'm actually proud of myself for using different tools to my advantage for once. Instead of just banging my head against the wall and hoping I can get the kill, I actually use the Bow of Apollo more often. So yeah, pro tip for that, Bow of Apollo. But once we get to part 4, I will show you, when and where and how I use the bow effectively and all that other fun stuff. But other than that, this is pretty much the end of it. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all next time for some more God of War 3 Chaos difficulty. So as always, take care, everybody.